Yo, what is up, Crockxen clan members, anime fans, and other social bones video? I'm SoresanCrockxen here, and today I'm gonna make a video that I haven't done this type of video in so long, so long, but I just had to. It had to be done. So today's video is going to be a response to the Insane Game Freak, Schizomanic, the Terrell Game Vlogs, the Game Manic. Like, he has so many fucking channel names, it's fucking ridiculous. But if you guys remember those, and if you guys remember what the responses were, this is like back in like old school YouTube days where like somebody would post a video and then you actually had an ability to like respond in the comments with a video response. So we're bringing it back. I know like commentary channels do this nowadays where like they see a video and then they comment on it and it's their response version, but whatever. So today we're going to be talking about his video on how Bakugo is like the best written character in My Hero Academia, which, you know, he reads the manga and watches the anime. My perspective is going to come in from like an anime only watcher, right? I don't read the manga. I don't feel like it's worth for me to invest in the manga. So I'm obviously not as well versed as those people who read the manga and are that far ahead into like the series, because you know the manga is always like way like super ahead of how the anime is. So my perspective is a little bit like lesser, but it's still a point of view, right? It's still something I can talk about. Plus, I've been a fan of his for years, and we know each other a little bit. So I thought it would be fun to like do this as a callback to back then. So in his video, he brings up a lot of good points about how Bakugo's development has gone from the beginning of the series to where it is now in the manga, and he even gave examples of where we are now in the anime, about all the improvements that he's shown as a character. How he basically was an asshole, and he still is an asshole, but like really was an asshole in like the beginning. Always want to be number one, like he's the best. He doesn't care about anybody else. And then over time, you would see him get frustrated over Deku's improvements with his quirk and his powers, and his lack of improvement, and just his subsequent growth from there to where he eventually finds out the truth behind Deku's powers or Deku's quirk coming from All Might, as versus his, which is like an actual natural quirk, and how he's now like a training partner for Deku to try to get him to get better control of his powers, and now he's more into like teamwork as opposed to before where it was just all him. So like, and he made a lot of good points, and I actually agree with him. Like, this isn't a video to take away from the fact that Bakugo really is the best written character, at least from what he said it, the UA's perspective, right? Because in his mind, I think, if I remember correctly, he thinks Endeavor is the best character in the series, which I actually wouldn't disagree with him. Although I do notice the same problems and issues he has in the past, where they've done things with his character that makes no sense, or maybe could have been handled a little differently. But at the same time, from my point of view, it's like there's always this divide of how they're handling certain characters. Like the pro heroes, like they just don't have any time in the spotlight. It's always the kids, which in a sense makes sense. Like, look at me being, but it makes sense because the premise of the show is the school setting. But then they throw in these like pro hero moments, but they don't flesh them out enough. Like, yeah, they're giving us these Endeavor and Hawks moments in the anime, right? This is the anime, not the manga. I don't know what happens in the future arcs, but like in the anime, they're giving us like these snippets now to set up future events. But for the most part, it's focused on the kids. And the problem is, because the show is centered on kids, you would expect more development and growth from the cast. But it's not. Like, it's very lopsided. Even from the beginning of the show, they have this huge cast. By the way, my favorite power is Tokoyami's, the Dark Shadow. I just like that. But I can't even say I like Tokoyami as a character because they don't show him off at all. Like, he's barely in any scenes, and like when he's shown off, it's very like quick lines or very small things. Like, yeah, they had him. They did a little flashback with Hawks. Hawks was his trainer, or not his trainer, but his pro hero guide when he was doing the internship. But like outside of that, like he just doesn't say much. Most of the other characters in Class A are irrelevant. I don't remember half the name of these guys. Their powers haven't really grown a lot since the start of the show. Like, they say, oh, we've improved, but they don't show anything. They don't show any progress. And that's actually my biggest problem with My Hero. Like, aside from, like, Deku, Bakugo, and then sometimes Todoroki, none of the other cast members have any, like, big major improvements. Like, they try to do this thing with Uraraka and Sue, but then they're like, oh, they're getting better, but you don't see any actual improvements. Like, sure, they have, like, Uraraka has a little bit more mastery of her gravity manipulation, but it's not as a big step up as you would expect, right? And same thing with and then the three major guys, right? Deku, Todoroki, and Bakugo. Like, their constant growth is just like random spikes that just keep showing up. Like, oh, hey, look, I can now do this. Like what happened in the recent Endeavor arc, where like, oh, like it's like, I think we're on episode, I don't remember how many episodes it's been for like season 5, or when the start of this arc, this mini arc started. But like, it wasn't that long, right? It wasn't that big of an arc, and they're like, oh, well, you gotta outpace me one time to catch a villain before I do. And then they're struggling, and all of a sudden they're all like, oh, look, we're doing everything you told us to do, and we caught the bad guy before you did. Like, oh. So it's like random spikes of development. And like, I agree with what Terrell says with Bakugo specifically, because his character, while he's still like a douchebag, and he's still an asshole to everybody, from where he started to where he is now, it's a completely different character. Like, he doesn't act the same around other people. Like, yeah, he still talks shit to Deku, but at the same time, he's like, okay, well, you're not doing this right. Oh, hey, we gotta practice this. Or you gotta push yourself harder, or otherwise I'm gonna beat you, right? I'm gonna be the #1 hero and all this other shit. So it's like, there's this big character change inside him over the course of the series. My issue with this, and I know, and he didn't bring it up in his video, is I dislike Bakugo specifically for that, right? And like, I'm not here to throw hate or shade at Bakugo, okay? I think he's a great character. The fact that he's developed so much throughout the course of the series is awesome. But I'm just upset that the creator, I don't remember the name of the mangaka artist, right? I don't remember the name of the person because I like I said, I don't follow the manga that closely, so I don't really remember the name of the person. But the way that he's written the story pushes everyone else to the side and is basically trying to like push these three characters, but Todoroki is being left behind since until now, like recently, where they're doing, and that's more for Endeavor. Like, they're trying to give Endeavor story, so that's why Todoroki's around, is because it's tied to him, the whole Endeavor being a shitty father and stuff like that. That's why Todoroki is getting developed at all at this point. Deku's just trash. I'm gonna be honest here. I haven't disliked the main character as much as I do with Deku since I don't fucking remember when. Like, he's so obnoxious. I don't like him. I don't like the way he acts. I don't like his fighting style, because it's like, I'm supposed to be smart, but I'm just gonna say fuck it. I'm just gonna go ahead and do what I do. I hope that gets better in future arcs, but like these last two, like I don't remember, like there's a couple, like the last few arcs with him, absolute garbage. I have not liked the show in a really long time, but I still gotta watch it. You know, it has to be done. But And then then there's Bakugo, who's like a rocket ship at this point. Like, oh hey, development after development after development. Like, I'm pretty sure in every single arc there's been something that pushes Bakugo forward, and that's what irks me. I don't mind giving a character a lot of development. I don't mind it, but like, dude, you have all like this huge ass cast where 90% of them don't fucking matter, right? And that's why I wanted to make this response video. It's like, I can agree that he's got the most development throughout the course of the series, and he's probably the most sophisticated character in UA. But to me, that is a big problem, because not even the main characters as developed as this guy. And then like 90% of the cast is irrelevant for the majority of the arcs, and most of the time they don't do anything. He mentioned in this video there's supposed to be a war arc that's gonna happen soon, right? And that's fine, right? It's cool that we're getting like some sort of like war arc, because every shonen anime manga at some point has to have a war, okay? Like, if you go back to like the big three, Naruto had like 2 big wars. I mean, it had like the major war at the end of the arc, but I'm pretty sure, if I remember clearly, there was the Akatsuki like stuff. Well, that's number 1. Bleach had a war against the Espadas. I don't watch or read One Piece, but I'm pretty sure there's been a war there. If you look at the most recent stuff, Black Clover had a fucking war arc against the elves, and not only that, but there's another war arc against the devils. And I know I'm missing one. Every shonen at some point has to have some sort of like this big old war arc thing. So I'm not surprised. I'm just worried that either shit's gonna hit the fan to where only like a select group of characters is gonna get like a big spotlight, being like Bakugo and Deku are obviously gonna be in the forefront, but everybody else is like just completely out of left field, or everybody's just gonna have this huge spike of development that's gonna come out of nowhere, right? Again, this is coming from this perspective of somebody that watches the anime and does not read the manga. I don't know if there's things that were not included in the anime that might help some of these characters. But in my opinion, I agree. Terrell, okay, the Insane Game Freak, Schizomanic, Terrell Game Vlogs, the Old School Game Addict, I agree that Bakugo is definitely the best developed character in UA. I just don't agree with him being the only character that actually matters in terms of the story. You have all these characters and they don't do shit. Okay? They just don't do anything, and I'm upset about that. I think that's why I'm turned off from the series. It's just, I don't care. I mean, I feel like Bakugo is like they're forcing us to like him, right? And that's why I think I refuse to like him, right? I think that's why I have this like huge push against him, because I feel like I'm being forced to like him, right? This isn't like, oh, hey, this is a cool character, here's some stuff about it. No, they're like putting him in our faces, saying, hey, look, like him. I don't know, maybe that's just me, maybe I'm the only one that feels that way. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Terrell, I don't know if you're gonna see this. I mean, you've mentioned that you watched some of my videos, but this is a response to you, so I hope you watch it. And I hope to make like videos like this again in the future. Maybe if there's another topic that Terrell comes out and says, hey, shoot me a response, I might actually just do it again. And I have a couple other videos that are planned. They're in the works. Hopefully I'll get them out soon. Episode 2 of the Versus Let's Play is being edited. So I'm gonna talk to Adam to see when he wants to upload that one. And then there's another video I have planned, but I forgot what it is right now. I have it written down somewhere. I haven't recorded it yet, but I have it written down somewhere. But anyways, guys, that's gonna be it. Hope you guys enjoyed. I've been SoresanCrockxen. Leave your thoughts, comments in the comment section below. Do you like Bakugo? Do you have a different favorite character in the series? Do you agree that he is the best written character, the best developed character in UA? and one of the better characters probably one of the either top 3 or the best written character in the series overall. How do you feel about my hero? Leave it in the comments section below. I've been SoresanCrockxen, and I'll see you guys in future videos.